Hey guys, it's Bobby Legs, and welcome to another episode of Bobby Legs Loves Watches. And today I want to discuss with you my Tudor Black Bay 58. I've owned it for a year, and I want to go over several things. I want to go over how I got this watch, the impressions, my thoughts on it since, and so let's start with that. So back in 2018, I saw this watch. It was released at Baselworld, and I instantly fell in love. Now, previous to that, I hadn't been collecting watches for a while. The economic crisis in the late 2000s, 2007, 2008 happened, and it kind of wiped me out a little bit. And I really didn't have the funds. I went back to school, started developing, got into programming and whatnot, and slowly built my life back after almost losing it all then. And so when I saw this watch, it was just hit that at the right time. Like I was back on my feet, doing very well, got married, had a kid, and was having another kid, and and so I saw this come out in Baselworld, and I just knew that I had to get this watch. I I'd never really paid Tudor any mind before. I really didn't like the snowflake hands, but there's something about this watch that it just flipped a switch for me. And I became obsessed with the snowflake hands and with this watch. I knew by the dimensions that it would be a perfect fit, and fortunately, I was right about that. But I want to also discuss a little bit, and I really haven't told anybody how like this watch came about. So my mother was born in Puerto Rico, and she studied very hard, got a few degrees here and there, got her bachelor's and master's, and she moved to the States, and she began teaching in New Jersey, and there she met my father. So she taught and lived in New Jersey about 30 somewhat years, and when she retired, she moved back down to Puerto Rico. Now around 2014, 2015, my aunts and I started noticing something was going a little wacky with my mom, and it turned out that she was suffering from Alzheimer's. Now, I was only going down there 4 or 5 times a year, so I wasn't with her on a daily basis, but my aunts were. So around that time, I went down to Puerto Rico in 2015 and brought her back to New Jersey. I wanted her to be close to me. She was she was 75% okay. You know what I mean? Like she would repeat her sentences. Her short-term memory wasn't great, but it was just great to have her back and in my life again, almost on a daily basis. So she was in assisted living facility and whatnot. She ended up passing away in 2019, early 2019, and I brought her back down to Puerto Rico because she wanted to be buried down there next to my father. And so that happened, and on the way back to the states, I was staying in San Juan, and I went to Old San Juan, like I always used to do when I went to visit my mom, and walk around because it is a beautiful little part of the city, and there was a watch dealer there, and I went in there. Was they sold Tudor, and I went in there, and I started talking to the salesman, and and I decided to put my name on the list. Now I felt like extreme guilt about doing that in the first place because I wasn't there for buying a watch. I wasn't in Puerto Rico for that. I was there to bury my mother. Um, but I also felt like maybe if I got something that I wanted really badly, and I got it there in Puerto Rico, that it would help me remember my mom. Not that I need to remember her, but every time I would look at this watch, I would think of her. So of course they didn't have it, and like I said, I put my name on the list, and then around 8 or 9 months later, I get a text from the salesperson, and I never thought that they would actually keep my information or get in touch with me. I'm in New Jersey, they're in Puerto Rico, and he got in touch with me, and he told me he had the watch, and he asked me if I was still interested, and I was, and I asked him to, and he mailed it to me, and I got it on November 2nd of last year, which was my daughter's first birthday. So this watch has another another meaning to me. So anyway, that's how I got this watch, and that's why I love several. This is these are several reasons why I love this watch and why it's my favorite watch in the collection. Let's just jump into some specs. This is not a review per se, but just to give you guys an idea, this is a 39 millimeter case, 47 millimeter lug to lug, 11.9 millimeter case thickness, 20 millimeter lug width. It has this box sapphire crystal, gilt hands, hour markers, just a really beautiful, beautiful watch. No crown guards, nice big crown here for easy winding, three-handed movement. It's got a manufacturer movement in it, 70-hour power reserve, COS certified. Faux riveted on the bracelets, but I know some people take issue with that. I do not care. It doesn't bother me. The clasp is pretty good. Three micro Drox ball bearings here, and nice little snap. Tudor adorning the clasp here. This watch fits me very, very well on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. I'll just put it on really quick, and it's just a joy. It's just a joy to wear. I just love it. I kind of love this vintagey look on a modern watch. I'm afraid to go and buy vintage watches just because I just don't know anything about them, and I'm afraid to either get hoodwinked or buy something that needs to be serviced. But this watch is just a beautiful, beautiful watch, and it makes me really happy to wear it. Other watches have come and gone from my collection. I've seen a lot of watches over the last year via tour or being lent in by subscribers like you, from various ranges of the price spectrum, of the quality of build spectrum. And no watch that I've come across, and this means offense to no one. I don't mean to offend anybody by this, but no watch that I've come across in the last year comes even close to this. And perhaps it's not just because of the quality and the build of it. Perhaps it's because no other watch has a shot or a chance to make me as happy as this because of all the sentimental value that is in this watch. I think of my mother. I think of my daughter. I think of hard times. I think of good times over the last year with this watch, and it's been there. I wear pretty much. It's probably, other than my G-Shock, I wear this watch the most. And if you haven't had the opportunity to try on a Tudor Black Bay 58, I encourage you to do so because it is a fantastic watch, and you will not be disappointed. It's worth every penny, and it will never leave my collection, no matter what. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys are all well, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about the Tudor Black Bay 58. I love connecting with you guys, and if you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe, and click that bell icon. I love making these videos, and I hope you like them too. Have a good one.